Maybe you have noticed, but the cinnamon roll season is upon us. And we're not just making any type of cinnamon roll, we're making pork belly cinnamon rolls.
A big thanks to Borniak Smokers for sponsoring this video.
That's right, the amount of cinnamon roll videos that are on my timeline are just driving me crazy. And of course I do like eating cinnamon rolls, but making pastry is not really my thing. But making pork belly cinnamon rolls? Well, that is a pastry that I could do. Making pork belly cinnamon rolls is probably the easiest thing to do because all you need is a couple of slices of pork belly. And then you're going to go in with your knife, cut them halfway through like this, and just let that knife slide through. It's got to do all the work for you. Follow the line like that. And of course we're going to do both of these. I'm just going to make a lot of it so I can share it with friends and family. At this point it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll work on the looks later on. What is important is the seasoning. I'm going to use the PITMASTERX classic barbecue seasoning. And I'm just gonna start with the first layer of seasoning. The next layer of seasoning is cinnamon. Pork belly cinnamon rolls. So sprinkle on some cinnamon, just like that, just like a little light brown sprinkle. It's very intense, so don't overdo it. And now we gotta go in with the sugar. This is the point where most people think, sugar on meat, I don't know if that's a good idea. Let me tell you, barbecue is all about putting sugar on your meat. Just think about the ribs that we glaze. It's mostly honey and sugar, a little bits of butter. We're turning meat into candy right here. So that sugar goes on. We do really need lots and lots of sugar to get it nice and sweet. And once we got that covered, we're going to close it and basically do the same thing on the outside. Season it with the classic barbecue seasoning, put the cinnamon on, put the sugar on. Of course I'm going to do both pork bellies. For the next step we're going to put the cinnamon rolls in a tray. And of course the next step is actually cooking the cinnamon rolls. Now like I said, this is a very simple recipe. All you need to do is cut the pork belly cinnamon rolls, just like that. And you see you've now got unseasoned. And then I just recommend tapping it on the board, get some seasoning on, like that. And then I'm going to put them in this tray. And the trick is to cut them all about the same size, which is about 2 fingers thick. And look at that. Now spread it out a little bit so all of them got a little bit of room to work, to expand, maybe even let a little bit of smoke through. Now this is what I need the cinnamon rolls to look like. A big tray of sticky meat. If this doesn't scream cinnamon rolls, I don't know what does. Christmas is on its way. We're not there yet. I know I'm ahead of myself, but I just want to make sure you guys have a good recipe to show up and impress people with. And of course it's still easy to do with people thinking you're like some kind of magician. Talking about magicians, I'm gonna smoke these pork belly rolls on the Borniak smoker. It's like a precision smoker, not only for barbecue meats, but you can also use it to do like super high-end things. Like making cold cuts, salami, smoked hams, cold smoked salmon, whatever you think of, if it has to be absolutely perfect, this is something you're gonna need. One of the big bonuses is that recently Borniak updated their controller system. It now has Wi-Fi, and that means you can use an app to control the whole thing. If you already own a Borniak smoker, you can just buy a new controller and put it on without having to buy a new one. Now, without further ado, let's open it up, put the cinnamon rolls in, like that, slide it in. Now, as you can see, I've got a little tray here as a dripping pan. And even though the Borniak doesn't really need it because it has a dripping system underneath, I do hate to clean up after 5 kilograms of pork belly has rendered out. All I need to do now is put a little bit of smoke wood in. I'm gonna stick a thermometer into the controller. The thermometer goes into the meat. I'm gonna close the lid. First thing that I'm gonna do is set the heater on the app. I want to be smoking at 120 degrees Celsius. And I'm going to set the probe temperature to 90 degrees Celsius. And of course, with the smoke turned on, all I gotta do now is make sure that I check top vent is open, bottom vent is open, and now the Borniak will just do the cooking while we do something else. I just got the notification from my Borniak saying that the pork belly is almost done. I'm gonna make sure with my probe thermometer if she's really soft and tender. Oh, soft like butter. Because you can't seriously call it cinnamon rolls if it's not soft and terrible. Terrible. I don't mean terrible, I mean tear. You know, rip it apart. It's not rippable. Doesn't sound right either. One last thing to do before we take them out. We gotta make icing. Icing on the cake. And who knew icing making was so easy? All you gotta do is take some powdered sugar, which are really amazing on poffertjes. And we're going to need loads and lots of it. And now you're gonna take some water, agua, put it in there and start mixing this up. And that's it. That's how you make icing. I told you this was going to be an easy recipe. The only hard part here is not to be messy. That's the only challenge. It's probably not going to be enough. Let's do another one. You know you can make powdered sugar yourself by just putting sugar in a coffee grinder. Just another tip. See, that's what I mean. It's so messy. Stop moving around. I'm so glad it's not windy out today. This would be a nightmare if it's windy. But still, it's better to do this outside than inside with an angry wife next to you. I didn't say that. That sounded so wrong. My wife's never angry. She's really lovely. One day you'll meet her and you'll say, PITMASTERX, you're so lucky with your super amazing wife. She's fantastic. I know. That's why I picked her. Let's get all the lumps out. Now I know you don't have to taste test the icing, but still, I'm going to. And I'm looking for consistency. You see that? Now I know that it's going to stick wherever I need it to stick. Ooh, that's gonna make it sweet for sure. Wow. Now let's do this. Let's get them out. Let's get the PITMASTERX gloves. Whoa, wow, guys. Look at that. You see how much fun barbecue is? Let's go put some icing on this. Wow. All right, I'm going to pick one up and I'm going to tear it open. At least if we can. Take a look at that. That is magnificent. Wow. Let's see if we can. Let's get a bite out of this cinnamon roll. Wow, nobody's gonna bake cinnamon rolls after this. It's smoked cinnamon rolls all the way. It's so freaking delicious. This is an insane recipe that you need to try. I know it doesn't make much sense, but if you want to make it and it looks good, just make it. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So while contemplating, I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you guys then, and until then, eet smakelijk and keep on grilling.